Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are finally looking at the MONDO 1/6 scale Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo. These are based on the original comic design, so that's why they have this kind of strange styling if you guys aren't familiar. We really don't have too many figures of this look for the Turtles. We really only have, in terms of good figures, the old NECA ones, which are long sold out from everywhere. So it's cool to finally have something like this become available. And I have to say I'm very pleased with it. I thought they looked great before I had one in hand, and it did not disappoint. Now I will be reviewing the MONDO exclusive version, which just comes with an extra accessory, but this guy's really nice. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand so we can take a closer look. This guy stands at just about 10 inches tall, which makes him just about 25.5 centimeters. Now that's the way it should be. He should be a little bit shorter than 12 inches, so don't freak out that it's a 1/6 scale figure that's not 12 inches. That's normal. It is the way it's supposed to be. And I have to say it looks really good. Now there are some things I'll point out that I don't care for, but as a whole, it looks great. I love the saturation in the colors. The green is a very saturated but deep kind of. It's weird that it's dull but saturated. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't look gray, I guess is what I'm saying. The green's nice. It's got some nice shading in it. I love the coloring on the shell, the front shell. That yellow with the brown wash on top with the black scratch marks in there, it just looks so nice. I don't know why, but I really like that. It's a weird thing. Maybe it's because I paint too. I don't know. But I like it. The blue bandana is a very nice saturated blue. The eyes are nice and white. Looks very good. The teeth have the nice black outline on them. Looks very comic-esque, and that's what it's supposed to do. So that's a good thing. And if we rotate it around, you can see we have this darker bluish green for the back of the shell, and that looks nice. And the paint job and coloration from the straps is carried over through the katana scabbards. So that's very nice. So before we talk about the figure anymore, though, let's talk accessories. Obviously, we have the two katanas that go in the scabbards, and they look really cool. We have the nice metallic silver and gold with the red grips. Very good. We do have the exclusive, this is what makes it exclusive, this shredder gauntlet, which is kind of damaged. It's very nice. It doesn't really serve a purpose other than being there, but it is included, so that looks pretty cool. We have the, here's my question to you guys. Is it Utrom or Utrom? The alien blaster, that's what we have there. We have 4 shurikens, we have 2 4.1s and 2 8.1s. I like those, they're very nicely sculpted. We have a grappling hook with rope. We have a baby shredder. We have a baby splinter. We have a baby Leonardo. And then we have a Raphael head. I'm just kidding. I'm never going to stop making that joke. This is the red bandana Leonardo because that's how they all were originally. Very nicely sculpted, very nicely painted, nice saturated reds. And then lastly, we have some interchangeable hands. So we have the 2 gripping hands that come on him in the package. We have the 1 pointing finger hand, and then the 2 climbing claw thingy hands, which they all look very nice. So that's it for the accessories. So the figure itself, I am overall very pleased with. I'll point out a few things that bug me before we get into the articulation. I don't love the sculpt of the biceps and triceps. The triceps stick out a whole bunch. The biceps are very flat. It only looks weird if you look at it specifically and try to focus on it and don't pose him. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's something to note. The other thing I don't care for a whole lot is the way they did the elbow pad. I don't know why they pinched it off right there. The whole area right here should be sculpted elbow pad strap, and it would look a lot better. And it would also get rid of this kind of weird lump they have on the forearm. Those are obviously very minor things, but they are things worth mentioning, so that's why I did it. Okay, so now let's talk about the figure. The head is on just a giant ball peg. It does pop off fairly easily, but that's good because they are interchangeable. But it's very posable. I love that they went with that giant ball peg because it does allow you to pose the head. You just have to be careful that it pops off a little bit too easily because as you can see, there's no real lip on the ball. It's kind of like the whole neck is the same size, so it doesn't actually snap on. It's just kind of a pressure fit. So be aware of that. But it's not like it's just going to fall off. So you can pose him and you won't really have too much trouble. You can see it's really not a big deal. The bandana does swivel around, so that's good. I hate fixed bandanas, and that's not, so I like that. For the shoulders, it's just your standard ball hinge. You can raise the arm up pretty darn far, and if you force it even farther than horizontal, so that's really nice. And of course, you can rotate that all the way around. The shell's there, though, so it won't go perfectly back, but you don't really need to do that anyway. You have your bicep swivel, which works nicely. Single jointed elbow, which almost gives you 90 degrees. Again, it's not the best design in the world, but I think it'll get the job done, so that's okay. For the wrists, we have the swivel because they're just peg in, and then we have the hinge, which works nicely. It's very well sculpted into the palm of the hand, so that's pretty nice. I just realized we might have a waist twist. I didn't notice that before. It feels like there is technically a waist twist in there, but it doesn't really want to move, so you can try that if you want to. I don't know how much it's going to work anyway, even if it does move, so it might be in there, it might not. I can't tell you because I don't know. I haven't taken these guys apart, and I don't plan to because they're fairly expensive. Now, here's one thing I don't care about articulation-wise. The hips, as far as I can tell, they are vertical hinged hips. They're not Y hinges, they're not T hinges, they are vertical, meaning that the peg goes straight down into the leg, which is normal, but the other peg goes straight up into the torso. So it's very difficult to pose the hips. You can do it, but it takes a lot of swiveling and hinging in kind of a combination. It will work. You can bring the leg out fairly far forward, and the shell is soft, so it'll kind of move around for you. It's just going to take a little bit of practice. I don't know how durable these guys are, so I wouldn't really crank down on them. Mondo is new to me in terms of action figures. It doesn't feel cheap, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like I really want to force it too much, because even the best brands of action figures are easily broken if they're large enough and you can put enough force on it. So be careful. I don't know. I don't have enough experience with it, and in fact, nobody really does. So be extra careful. You can bring the legs out to the side, but it's going to be pretty limited, and like I said, it's going to be kind of difficult due to the hips. This one doesn't want me to use the hinge at all. I don't know why, it just doesn't want to go. So again, be very careful. The thigh swivel works very well, of course, and this plastic is fairly soft, so if you do like push it up against there, it probably won't be a problem, but you don't want to really crank down on it, like I said. For the knees, I don't love the fact that they're a little bulbous in the back, but once you pose them at all, it kind of goes away just a little bit, so that's fine. But you do get the double jointed knees, though with those kind of strange hips, it's not going to be the most useful, and they do get kind of blocky. The way they have that sculpted up here, it's a little bit strange, but I don't think it's a big deal, especially like from the front. It doesn't look too bad, so I don't really mind it. It's okay. It's all right. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's okay. They're a little floppy, but that's only because he's really heavy. I don't think he's going to like flop as you pose him or anything, but if you hold him like I was, they could. Yeah, you see, they kind of want to bend back. So, you know, like I said, it's a newer brand of figures. They're going to work out the kinks. It's not perfect yet, but it's definitely okay. Then lastly, we have the ankles, which have the full hinge. Not the best range in the world, but they do have the hinge, and they do have the ankle rocker built into it. So, you know, the whole thing is aesthetically very pleasing. If you don't look at some spots specifically, it looks great as a whole. Some of the things up close, not so much, and that's kind of the same for the articulation. Most of it's pretty good. Some of it leaves a little bit to be desired. My ultimate verdict is get them. If you like the Ninja Turtles, you're gonna like these. I love it. I don't like some of the issues, but that doesn't mean I don't love the thing as a whole. As a reviewer, I'm about 50-50. I take that back. I'm 65-35. It's mostly really good with a few issues, so I'm looking forward to see what kinks they work out and how the other figures turn out as they progress through the line. But this one, as it is, I'm very pleased with it. I love the size. I love the feel of it. I love the paint. Just could do better with some of the sculpt and some of the articulation. So that's my verdict. I like it. I think you will too. If you're a Turtles fan, you're probably going to want to pick one up. So there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you click that little notification button, that little bell right next to the subscribe button. That'll let you turn on notifications so that YouTube actually tells you when I upload a video. I don't know why they're changing stuff, but they are, so you need to do that. And you probably want to do that because I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.